Welcome back to my channel. I'm Vicky and I'm usually all things smell good, but I have my December reads. So if you're interested in the books I read in December, then just keep on watching. Okay, I got my notebook here because I just have the titles written down because it's quicker than trying to surf on the Kindle. All right, so December, I read a few goodies. We're going to start with the Sharolene Missing. This is currently a 2-part series. It's a mystery. I think there's going to be a part 3 because part 2 left off with the cliffhanger. I feel like it was published recently. I don't remember. Nonetheless, this is one of the freebies I picked up during Bray back in November, which again, I believe is Black Readers Appreciation Event. So it's essentially like stuff your Kindle full of like Black authors of all genres. So these are 2 pretty short reads. So if you're interested in like a mystery book, this one we've got is by C. Winter, by the way. So in the 2-book series so far, we've got Megan, and I'm not sure if Megan is like a cop or a detective of some sort or like a PI, but I think she's somewhere in that realm. And in this small town, I think it's in Virginia or somewhere, it doesn't matter, but a few teenagers start going missing over the course of several months, and it's essentially a story of revenge. It kind of reminded me of the Mindfuck series as far as something traumatic happening to someone and they're out for revenge. Like, yeah, they are taking their revenge out on those who have wronged them. But in this case, they're not necessarily taking it out on the direct people who they felt have wronged them. They're taking it out on the kids. So the kids start going missing. There's some buried secrets in here, because these kids all have secrets too. Like, as you start hearing each of the kids' POVs, you realize they're all holding some sort of secret of their own. So that's kind of how they get lured into becoming missing in the first place. I feel like it was a decent read for both parts. They're both pretty short, I want to say. They're both probably under 150 pages each. So super quick to get through if you want to knock it out through a weekend. So yeah, that was the Sharolene Missing 1 and 2 by C. Winter. Next, we have the Jennings Mafia family. So there are 3 parts to this series. I've only read 2. So I read Trouble Forever and Still Forever. So Trouble Forever is an arranged marriage kind of situation. There's this war going on between families, and the way that they're going to call a truce is to arrange a marriage. And the arrangement is for Trouble from the Jennings family to marry Storm from I forgot their last Rockwell. It doesn't matter because we're moving to the Jennings family. But it's a little story about Storm and Drew / Trouble. His name is Drew, but his street name is Trouble. And one thing about it, Trouble do not play. I keep switching them back and forth. Trouble, Drew, he do not play about Storm. They met literally on the day of the wedding, but you kind of see the story unfold of them two kind of falling for each other. So despite the circumstances, there are quite a few circumstances that happen in here. So it's an interesting read, couple ebbs and flows, a lot of shoot 'em up, bang bang. So if that's not your kind of vibe, keep that in mind because it is a mafia story. And yeah, nice. It's a little spicy too, so we can always at least I can always appreciate a little spice. But then we segue into Still Forever. So let me back up a little bit. So for the Jennings family, there's three boys. Trouble, well, I'm going to use his name. Drew, Jackson, and I forgot the third brother because I haven't read his book yet. I know his name because he's the comedic relief. He's the one always cracking a joke. So the third book is his story. But Still Forever is Jackson, which is the middle child, and Kennedy, which is actually Storm's best friend. So Jackson and Kennedy met at the wedding and they kind of hit it off. And this story starts a few years after Trouble Forever ends, because yeah, I don't want to give it too much away without giving away the part one, but so far I'm not mad at the series. So we'll see what happens in part 3. I have no idea when I'm going to get around to it because it's not even downloaded on, or is it? It might be on my Kindle right now. But yeah, we're going to see what happens with the Jennings family and how this mafia story ends. So excited about that. Did I even say who this was by? I can't even remember. So the Jennings Mafia saga is by D. Scott, and the third one is called Reckless Forever. I had to pull out the iPad because it's finally charged, because I needed to make sure I got the author's name right. And I'm gonna give like my stats at the end of this anyways. So one common thread I noticed about the Jennings men, they don't play about their women. And I love that, okay? I love to see a man who don't play about his lady, okay? They do be a little unhinged, but I love that too. I don't know what it is about these unhinged male characters that just, they make me happy. Moving on. Next is, speaking of unhinged, next is Never Faking About You by Aubrey J. So this is Lynx and Fire, and I have my note written down, he's a liar. Liar. Fire the liar. So Lynx is the female male character, and female main character. Did I say female male character? Female main character. Okay. And Fire is the main male character. So Fire has a twin, Fire and Earth, and Fire runs a mechanic shop, and Lynx runs a daycare center. And they met because Lynx's best friend married Fire's twin brother. So that's how they met. And I guess an important thing to note in here without giving too much away is Lynx has vitiligo. So Fire pokes fun at it. But he's such a boy. Like, instead of him just saying in the first place that he was interested and he feeling her, he teases her. Instead of doing that, he teases her about her vitiligo or whatever and tries to like pick arguments or fights with her to go back and forth or whatever. But yeah, he lied to her. He led her under false pretenses that would make her think that he needed her help for a situation. And that's kind of like how he got her to fall in love with him. He's a liar. He lied. I understand the intentions were good, but he lied, okay? Like, he lied. It's spicy. It's a cute story, but Fire the liar, okay? I'm not mad at the story, though. I think it was well written, and I will be reading more from Aubrey J. I probably should have said this before for D. Scott. I definitely read other books from D. Scott. And we'll see from C. Winter. I want to see how this mystery ends. I think I want to see some more work from C. Winter because the Sharolene Missing, it wasn't, I won't say it's like necessarily exciting, but it is interesting enough because it is a mystery and you want to see like what happened. So I am interested in reading more from her too. I'm all over the place. I'm not like a real like book reviewer. I'm just trying to get in where I can fit in. All right, next we have Santa's Little Pleasers from Lady Nisha. My note, College Boys Gone Wild. There's, how many of them are there? I think there's four guys in college. winter break, and they come up with a scheme that Todd set up to make money. And yeah, they are wild. Okay, I think this is categorized as an erotica. But with Lady Nisha, there's always going to be some comedic relief. I've noticed that in all the books of hers that I've read. So the boys are wild, okay? And they out there trying to make money, using what they got to get what they want. Okay. That's what I can say about that. Using what they got to get what they want. And yeah, I think this one's under 100 pages. It's a funny little read, so you could absolutely knock this out in a night or two. Yeah, if you're looking for something spicy with some comedic relief, like I said, you'll definitely enjoy Santa's Little Pleasers. And I already love Lady Nisha, and I will absolutely be trying to read some more books in her catalog this year. It's now January, but 2026. All right, next we have Deep from Natavia, or Natavia. We'll go with Natavia. I read Ebonia, and that was a paranormal romance. I read that during the summer. This one falls under the same umbrella, except these are different creatures. Those were like fairies and warlocks. These are like mermaids and dragons, but it's kind of still the same premise where the mermaid, they're like mermaidy, fairy-like. They have some special abilities or powers. And there's like there's some, how do I say this? There's some manipulation in here. There's some spice. Now what I will say about Deep, it took a while to kind of get to the point for me. Like, it was a slow breadcrumbing like burn. I feel like I probably got to 50%, maybe even past 50% before it started to pick up a little bit. So yeah, I don't think it took that long when I read Ebonia, but this one, it felt real breadcrumby, and that's not my preference when it comes to books. I'll still read it, you know, the writing's good and all that. It's just, can we get to where we're trying to go? Another thing with her characters is, while they can morph into other beings, they also have the ability to be in human form, which is actually scary, because what if there's real people around her like that? Am I reading too deep into this? Pun intended, because the book's name is Deep. Did I say the two main characters, Short and Zambezi? So Short and her mother live regular human lives. No, they don't even, well, her mother, it's not that she doesn't know, she's tried to forget about where she came from and that she's a being of the water. Short didn't know. Short just grew up thinking that like she was just always sick her whole life and things of that nature. However, her issue was, why she was sick is because she wasn't in the water. So yeah, but ultimately they end up back at the water, and her mother, it seems like she's having a hard time coming around and accepting who she is, like finally like returning home. But yeah, there's two parts to the series. I haven't started part 2. I'm conflicted because I can't necessarily say I loved this book. So it's got me like, do I really care to see how this story pans out? I don't know. I did download both at the same time when I downloaded this series. So it is on the Kindle. We'll see if I actually get around to reading it. TBD. And last but not least, I read Blu Valentine from Nina, which I read. This is the first hard copy book I read in probably over a year, actually, because I've been doing everything on Kindle Unlimited. It's technically a novella, but it's called a novella. Nina calls her novellas, you know, for Nina, novella. You get it. This story, trigger warnings. First of all, there's not in like full explicit, like not where you can picture the scene, but there's enough mention so that you know what's going on. But there's child abuse, neglect. There's child SA in here. What do I even, other than calling this a novella, I don't really know what box you should put this in, because it's not a romance. There's no spice in here. There's nothing like that. It's not urban fiction. It's so Blu, who was abused as a child by someone in the church. This happened in the South. I feel like this is based off of a true story, though. Like, some of this is based off of a true story, where she's assaulted. How do I describe this without giving it away? She's assaulted, and as a result of that, song happens in multiple forms. If you read it, you'll catch the double meaning. One of the meanings is Blu is actually a singer. Her mother, Carrie, self-serving. Okay. Self-serving and kind of disregards Blu's feelings and experiences. Yeah. That's probably the nicest way I could put it. There's also some self-harm in here. Blu does some self-harm that lands her with Dr. G. So Dr. G ends up like helping Blu kind of find herself again. Dr. G helps Blu find the song she lost. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And again, if you read this, you'll understand the double meaning of song. This I got through Barnes and Noble. So Nina has some of her books available, that the ones that are not on Kindle Unlimited, I believe. Well, not all of them. A couple of her books are available through direct order on Barnes and Noble. So she has a Facebook group called Porter Publications, and on there you'll probably have to search for her Barnes and Noble links. That'll take you directly to these, because some of these books were on her actual website, and I guess based on whatever, you know, she's able to do, she could ship directly some books, and those that she does ship directly, she signs. Because this one I bought, this one I didn't buy through Barnes and Noble. I lied. All the other Nina books I got through Barnes and Noble, but the ones that you buy on her site, she just signs XOXO Nina. Nina knows how to write about some trauma. Like, reading the On Us series, there's a whole lot of trauma going on there, but there's also some comedic relief. There's no comedic fluff in here. It's just raw. This it's it's just over 100 pages, but this book took me through the motions. It's because of all the trigger warnings in here, it's important that you check in with yourself before you read this, and you may or may not cry a little bit, okay? I feel like I cried at the end of this book. I don't know what be going on with me, but yeah, I feel like this is probably one of the shortest books I read all of December, and I'm talking about it the longest, but yeah, highly recommend getting your hands on this. And this one is not, again, it's not available on Kindle Unlimited. You would have to purchase this. So I don't think it's still available on her website, but if I find the Barnes & Noble link, I will leave it in the description. Okay, now that that's over, those are all the books I read in December. Next, I'm currently flipping back and forth between Raw by Jessica N. Watkins and Crack Money with Cocaine Dreams from Jacquel J. Raw is stressing me out. I'm barely like 10-15% into this book, and this man, that's why I have to keep going and read something else, because Raw just be pissing me off. So I gotta go and read something else. Crack Money with Cocaine Dreams. So it's linked to, I don't know if any of these characters are going to reappear in any of Ja's like newer works or stuff we'll see in the future. But if you read, which one is it? Staten Island Love Letter, Messiah's Crazy Tale. So Crack Money with Cocaine Dreams is Messiah's story. So it's definitely interesting seeing her POV on this end of the spectrum, because when I read Staten Island Love Letter, I was like, this lady crazy. This lady is crazy. So yeah, I'm probably like, again, 15-20% in that as well. So my stats for 2025, I have finished 122 books. Goodreads has me at 120, but that's because the spring break that I read, Asha's story, Spring Break from Granger, part of the Maggie Gray series, that's only available on Granger's website. And Blu Valentine is also not on Goodreads. So those two are not part of the Goodreads count. Now, I know this isn't like the comprehensive list of all the books I've read, but just to recap, some of my favorite authors I've read over the year have to Jacquel J. E. Bowser, that's the Product of the Street series. Lady Nisha, she gonna give you an unhinged man and some extra funny. Okay, it's gonna be real funny, real unhinged. Who else did I really enjoy this year? Nina. Okay. The Porter Family. Okay, locked in. I really enjoyed the Maggie Gray series. So Granger / Desiree, definitely an author that's on my radar to read more of her work. And I still want to get back into the Perfect Sister series, because I need to see what happened after that lady then came and grabbed her daughter back up. I need to see how this story pans out. Who else is in here that I need to read more of? Miss Candace, the Soul Tie series. Okay. BB Reed. We might need a support group for BB Reed, because she gonna have your head exploding. And I think she's actually coming out with a new book this month. So I do want to try and start clearing some things out of my Kindle Unlimited like download, so I can return them, so I can start getting some new stuff. But yes. Anything else that I need to... Favorite series? Let me think. I still got to give it to the Porters. Okay, it's tough deciding between the Porters and the Jacquel J universe. But I'ma still stick with the Porters, the On Us, Front Street Porter, Clearwater, Reckless Love. Like, I they took me through it. I love the Porters. Okay, I love them. Um, so I'm gonna do that for series. I'm gonna say my favorite standalone. Just tough, cause it's tough. It's tough. I'm stuck between Lucid Dreams by Lady Nisha and In the Gray by BB Reed. I might do In the Gray. That, like I said, we need a support group for BB Reed. Like, whew. Um, uh, what else? Some authors I'm excited to read more of. Mel Dow. Definitely. I want to see more from C.M. Barnes because I started the Enigma series. Well, the Winston Hill series. I want to read more from. Did I say Nietzsche Antoinette? I want to read more from Nietzsche Antoinette. I want to read more from Lady Nisha. As much as I complain about Octavia Grant, I still want to read more of her unhinged works. I ain't even gonna hold you. Jacquel goes without saying. There's going to be more instances that she's going to be dropping through 2026. That goes without saying. More Granger. And I think Real Part 2 from Kennedy Ryan is supposed to be releasing 2026. So we'll see, because I did enjoy Real. So yeah. So that is a wrap for my 2025 reads. I don't know how many parts I have. I think this is part 9. So it'll be on my playlist if you're interested in hearing me talk about some of the other books I read throughout the year. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed this. I hope it inspires you to read more if you haven't been reading, and if you are an avid reader, definitely leave me some book recommendations, please, because me and my Kindle, we be locked in. This is my iPad, but my Kindle's on the charger because she needs it. Okay, because yeah, I be locked in. So I'm gonna stop babbling. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.